I just have to step back, take a moment, because as I was preparing for this event, I was going through iteration of iteration of iteration. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? I've talked about this at the Roseville event. I've done this at San Diego. What am I going to do in Dallas? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do something different. And the voices, or the voice, said, this is what you're going to do. And I didn't understand until every single one of you have been up on this stage. Take a big breath. So I am Jonathan William Deane. I was born in 1968, the oldest of 4 kids. 1971, our mother decides it's time to grind, and she ran. I graduated high school in 1986. 1991, went to the Air Force. Retired 2011, became a federal government employee that same year. And if you forgive me, I'm going to refer to my notes as well. I'm going to be the professor today. In my Air Force career, I was an aircraft maintainer and a Russian linguist. In my government career, I was a training instructor and administrative officer. And recently, just as Raul said, I've expanded out into the acting world, and I've been in musicals. I was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat last year, and this year we just finished the Music Man on August 13th. Write that down. That's significant for later. All these events, all these different things, they're part of my hero's journey. And that is what I was told I needed to speak about today, was the hero's journey, which was coined by Joseph Campbell, and he wrote this. A hero ventures forth from the world of common day into a region of supernatural wonder. Fabulous forces are there encountered, and a decisive victory is won. The hero comes back from this mysterious adventure with the power to bestow boons on his fellow man. And so I have a couple of boons that I want to share with you right now. The first one is, as you know, in 2011, I retired from the Air Force and became a federal government employee. What you don't know is that in January 2023, I resigned from that position and walked away from it because it was a toxic environment. Now you're wondering, well, where did he work? I worked at the National Institutes of Health. And yes, I was there when Mr. Anthony Fauci shoved his agenda on all of us. And I called it out. I fought them and I won. They wanted me to take the vaccine, and I said, you don't get to usurp my divinity and my sovereignty over me. You are all divine. You are all sovereign. Do not surrender your divine sovereignty or your sovereign divinity to anyone. That's the first boon that I want to drop on you. The next one's going to be a little bit difficult. I didn't think it was going to be as difficult as this is. You are not always going to be the hero in your hero's journey. Every one of you that have been up here speaking thus far, all of you that are going to speak after me, you are being the hero for me in my journey. Thank you. The other cool thing is that the other hero in your journey may not even look like you. They may not even be bipedal. They might have 4 paws. (2021), we're a year into the fear-demic. I meet Mary Morrissey and her amazing team of Brave Thinking Institute, and I get to speak to one of her counselors, Megan, who is helping me realize that I need to dream again, that my dream had died. I stopped dreaming. And she said, what is your longing? What is your discontent? Where are you at now? But what are you longing for? What is your discontent? Where do you want to be? And in the course of that conversation, I said, I want a puppy. And she said, well, what does that look like? And I said, well, I'm standing at my stand-up desk in my office at home with the government laptop, and he's laying there at my feet. This was June 2021. August 2021, jet black, a full Bernedoodle comes into my family. And he's there with me. We go on walks. And I can't tell you the number of pictures that I have on my phone and in my head of him sitting at my feet or sitting by my bed as I'm working, just like I had the dream, the vision of him being there. I had the dream. I thought about it. I visioned it, and he was there. The musical, The Music Man. It's a community theater. It's called GAP, Glendon Area Players. We have to sign a contract at the beginning that we commit to being there for the rehearsals and for the set build and for the teardown and for the shows, of which there were 9. And I was there. I did it. We had 9 shows. The first weekend we opened on August 4th. We had a great run. We had a reviewer there. She gave us 5 stars. It was a great show. Then we had our break. We did Wednesday review brush up. We came back Thursday, did a show. We came back Friday, did a show. We came back on Saturday, did 2 shows. August 13th, Sunday morning, is our final show is that day. And as many of you know, that I have a goal of hitting 12,000 steps before 8 o'clock in the morning. Sunday morning, I'm a little bit late getting started because, well, I didn't get home till almost midnight because we had 2 shows on Saturday, and the show didn't start or end till almost 11 o'clock that night. So I'm running a little late. Jet and I are out on our walk, on our path. We're walking around Honeysuckle Pond, story for another time. And I carry a little notebook with me when I get hit by epiphanies. Jet knows that when Papa pulls his book out, he's going to go to the grass and lay down, and he's going to roll around. And I'm going to read to you what I wrote that morning. We must empty ourselves in order to fill ourselves. The more we strive to fill ourselves up, the emptier we become. The more we focus on emptying ourselves, the fuller we become. I finished writing that. I looked down. Jet had been rolling around on the grass like he always does, except for this time, the clasp on his collar had come undone, and he raced off, jumped into the pond, was playing in the pond, and the little voice said, take a video, shoot a video. I shot the video. I'd never do that. I lost him a little bit later because I was trying to catch him. He just wanted to play. He was like, Papa, it's playtime. He wanted to play. He ran to the woods, and I was using the reverse psychology to get him to come back to me. And he'd get within 10 yards or whatever, and he'd be like, and I tried to approach him, and he'd run off again. So I would walk off again. And this one time, I walked off, and I was staying the path around the pond, and he ran off into the woods, and then I heard him yelp, and I was like, oh no. I ran and looked for him. I couldn't find him. I thought he'd crossed the street to go back to our apartment, but he wasn't there. I walked all the way back to the apartment, couldn't find him there, went back. And about 30 minutes later, I'm walking the path around the pond into the direction I didn't think he'd gone, but I was like, I just got to check it. And I walked up, and it was near the T. Rowe Price campus, and I was walking the edge of the forest there, got up there into the parking lot, and there's a Baltimore County police officer. And he says, "Are you looking for a black dog?" Yeah. He says, "I just saw him walk over there to these trees. I don't think he's doing well." And I looked over and I saw what he was talking about, but I couldn't make it out. I couldn't recognize if it was Jed or not. And then eventually the officer let me walk up, and I got there and he took his last breath. And then I had to pick him up, put him in the car, take him to the vet, leave him at the vet. And at the meantime, when all this is happening, I'm texting the director saying, "Hey, I'm going to miss call time at 11 o'clock. He's like, "Okay, let me know how things are going." Get him to the vet, drop him off there, and there's nothing. He's already gone. I have to go home, and I have to shower, get ready. And I get there an hour before our show. I get into the dressing room at 12 o'clock. My cast brothers all know what's going on. They come up, they give me hugs and say, "We're here for you. Let us know if you need us." I get up there, I do the show, and then afterwards, a lot of people were like, "Well, I couldn't have done that if that was me. I couldn't have done the show. How did you do that?" And I can't tell you how I did it, but I can tell you why. I did it because I made a commitment. I did it because my cast members needed me to be there. I did it because the audience needed me to be there. It's the why that matters, not the how. You focus on the why, the how takes care of itself. So the heroes in our life are not always going to be us, not always not going to look like us. The final boon that I want to share with you is a poem that I wrote probably 2016, 2017. So bear with me. To the edge of the precipice of life I did walk. In fear and trembling, I stood there, clinging to nothing. I cast my eyes across the great chasm, and alone though I was, 1,000,000,000 fears screamed whispers in my ears, pulling me back, holding me in my place. I dare not leap. The screaming whispers cried out to me, "There is no faith, there is no hope, there is no love." I fell into darkness and beaten and defeated. The screaming whispers became a terrifying shrill, and they danced maniacally upon my head. Then, from without, or from within, or from across the chasm, discern I could not. There arose a silent roar, echoing across all time and space. Nothing to fear but fear itself. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Seek, and ye shall find. Ask, and it will be open unto you. Knock, and it shall be open unto you. These three remain: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. I sprang to my feet, I ran to the edge, and I flung myself into the mighty rushing winds. Oh, what joy the falling! Down my face ran tears. Tears of joy, tears of faith, tears of hope, tears of love. And then wings unfurled, and I